You're watching the O2 Arsenal Vodcast. Gael Clichy watched last week's Champions League draw at the training ground. So how did the Frenchman feel when Arsenal were paired with Liverpool?
A bit disappointed because the Champions League is to play against teams around the world, Europe, and Italian or Spanish team would be fantastic, would have been fantastic. But Liverpool is not bad. I think it's a great side and it's going to be a great game.
As the countdown begins to Sunday's London derby at Chelsea, Bacary Sagna says Arsenal have to win their 8 remaining games to claim the Premier League title.
Every game is crucial at the moment. We have 8 games again, so we have to win every one. Not thinking about because it's Chelsea or a small team or a bigger one. We have to win everything if we want to be champion.
O2's live away screenings at Emirates Stadium continue with Arsenal's Premier League clash with Bolton on March the 29th and their European tie at Liverpool on April the 8th. Book your tickets at www.arsenal.com/O2 screenings. The stadium, Highbury Square, is on time and on budget. That was the message earlier this month as Arsene Wenger and some of the club's directors performed the traditional topping out ceremony at the site of Arsenal's famous old home. Returning to Highbury for the first time since Arsenal's move to Emirates Stadium, Wenger applied the finishing touches of cement to the roof of what was the East Stand. As part of the traditional ceremony, an evergreen bough was nailed to the stage and a noggin of ale was drunk. After 93 years as a football stadium, Highbury is being converted into studios, apartments and penthouses. Construction will be completed by the summer of 2009, although the first apartments will be ready for occupation later this year. Managing Director Keith Edelman also played his part at the topping out ceremony. He took time out to speak to the O2 Arsenal Vodcast about Highbury Square.
Going back then, Keith, to the early stages, what are the plans, if any, were there for the Highbury, the stadium, before we moved to Emirates?
Well, I think that when we had the Emirates Stadium project developed, we always had the intention of turning this into a residential development. And we worked with Allies and Morrison, the well-known architects, to develop this into what I believe now is going to be, a fantastic place for people to live.
And where did the idea actually come from?
Well, the idea really was, when we looked at this site, what we could do with it, because as you know, the East Stand is listed, the West Stand is locally listed, so we had to keep the facades remaining. And when we looked at the building and we looked at it with the architects, we worked out that this would create a great place for apartments, and clearly having a 2-acre garden is pretty unique in London.
And now the building is full swing, what role did the club actually play?
Well, we've actually been the developer here and the seller, so we are fully involved with this as any property company would be, in terms of finishing the project, defining all the finishes, setting the sales prices, working with the architects in terms of the delineations of the units. So we're fully involved with this project.
You touched there on keeping the East Stand fascia and the West. What's the story behind that?
Well, the East Stand, as you know, is a very, very important architectural piece of work. It's Art Deco, and I think that when we ran Highbury, unfortunately, it probably had suffered a bit over the years. But when Sir McAlpine finished this development, we will have restored it back to its former glory. So it'll be back to what it looked like when it was first built. And I think I'm really looking forward to that, because I think it will be a stunning sight to see.
Our trips to Bolton and Liverpool will be screened live at Emirates Stadium. Tickets are £15 per person with a complimentary drink, great prizes to be won and a free gift for early arrivals. Visit www.arsenal.com/O2screenings for full details.